Last week we learned this amazing news. Jesus says, I have given you this gift of love, this gift of light, this gift of life. Now go and give it to others. Go and make disciples of all the nations. Go and baptize them in the name of my Father, myself, and the Holy Spirit. And it is my hope, indeed it is my prayer, that many of you felt a stirring in your heart. Yeah, I need to be doing that. I need to go. But the question is how? How do we do that? In Luke chapter 10, Jesus sends his disciples out into the field. He says, go. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. He says, be like lambs among wolves. That means in a world of hostility and violence and force, be gentle, be kind, be peace-filled. He says, don't take a purse or a bag or sandals. That means he will provide for them. He says, do not greet anyone on the road. That means be purposeful on your mission. Don't get distracted. So here we are as followers of Jesus, and we know the harvest is plentiful. We know we're supposed to go out with gentleness and kindness and peacefulness. We know that he is going to provide for us, but I have a couple of questions. Maybe you do too. Actually, I have a lot of questions. Go and make disciples of all nations is kind of vague. Like, what does that mean? It's not very specific. Go where? When? How? Let's try to answer them. First one, where do we go? We're going to go to the least. As we go and make disciples of all nations, we should start with the least for two reasons. One, that is the shortest route to God. In Matthew 25, Jesus says to his disciples, whenever you gave someone something to eat or to drink, whenever you invited a stranger in, whenever you took care of a sick person, whenever you visited someone in prison, whenever you cared for the least of my brothers and sisters, you cared for me. And so when we go out to make disciples of all nations and we go to the least, we get to be in the presence of God in a way that we can see it, in a way that we can feel it, and in a way that we can experience it. Second reason, by definition, the least, they need something. They're in some state of poverty. They might be hungry. They might be thirsty. A stranger needs shelter. The sick need care. The prisoner needs compassion. And we are in a position to give them those things. This is no small thing. To make a disciple of Jesus, the person that you're talking to, that you want to become a disciple, they need to accept Jesus into their heart. Before they can do that, they have to be open to it. They have to be open to the possibility of God's great love through his son Jesus. That's really hard to do when you're starving. Physically starving to hear somebody proclaim the good news. It's really hard to do when you feel unsafe. You feel threatened, or you're sick and you're lonely. When we go to people in need, to the least among us, and we provide for their physical needs, we provide for their mental needs, these open the door for their spiritual needs. Does that make sense? James, brother of Jesus, put it like this. In James 2:15 through 16, he says, suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? So when we go among the least among us and provide for them, it opens up the opportunity for them to become a disciple of Jesus. 2, when? So we're going to go to those in need. When do we go? We go right now. Now. Kingdom of heaven is present. Right here. Right now. Notice in the Bible there's 2 kinds of responses when Jesus calls people to follow him. There is the immediate response. Jesus calls Matthew, the tax collector. Immediately, he gets up and follows him. Jesus calls Simon Peter and his brother Andrew. They were fishing in the Sea of Galilee. He calls them to follow him, and we're told that they dropped their nets and they followed. James and John, brothers as well, they're fishing as well. I think they were near Simon Peter and Andrew. He says, follow me. And they immediately dropped their nets and they followed him. That is the one response. Now, they went now. And then there's the other response. Many times throughout the gospel, Jesus calls people to follow him and they say, absolutely. But first, let me go check on my family. Jesus calls people to follow him, to step onto this path of love. And they say, most definitely, Jesus, I'm with you. But first I need to go plow my field. Jesus calls people to follow him, to experience the blessings of this kingdom life. And they say, I'm in. Jesus, I'm picking up what you're laying down. Let's go. But first, I need to get my finances in order. I need to do my laundry. I need to feed my cat. As far as we know, those people in the Bible, they never get around to following Jesus. Whatever excuse it was that stopped them from following him now, they never come back to follow him. And you see, I think this is how our brains work. People who study the brain, neuroscientists and psychologists and behavior experts, they tell us that our subconscious part of the brain, the part of the brain that does all of the thinking that we're not aware of, our subconscious has one prime objective: to keep things the same. Why is that? Our subconscious brains think whatever we did yesterday, it worked because we're here. And so we want to keep things the same so when we can survive whatever we did yesterday, no matter how bad it was, how uncomfortable it was, it worked because it got us to today, and so we're not changing anything. This explains why people stay in bad situations, why people stay in addiction, why they stay in very unhealthy and depressed lives, because their subconscious is saying, well, I'm in survival mode. I don't care about thriving. I just want us to get to tomorrow, and so we're going to keep everything the same. The call, Jesus' call to go out and make new disciples, is risky behavior. It's risky, it's unknown, and so our brains and our hearts might be saying, yes, let's go. This is what we should be doing. We should be helping and serving and loving. And then our subconscious brain says, whoa, hold on there, buddy. Hold on there, Missy. We ain't going anywhere. And in that moment, then your subconscious fills you with all of the reasons you can't. I'm too busy. I don't know how. I've got people to take care of, and then we stop. And so when do we go? We go now. We go as soon as possible. So where do we go? We go to the least that need us to serve them and love them. When do we go? We go now. How? How do we go? We go with love. We go with love. I like Thomas Aquinas' definition of love, to will the good of the other without any expectation that we're going to get something in return. When we go out in love, we're focused on the other person. What they need, not what we need. We don't do this so we go out and we can feel good about this. That might happen, but it doesn't always. I trust me, as a pastor who goes out into our community and I want to help people, they're not always willing to let me. And when I do help them, they're not always willing to say thank you or to show gratitude. And that's okay unless I need that. Unless I need that affirmation of myself. And I've been there where I've done that. What does the other person need? They might need food. They might need a sandwich. They might need water. They might need a kind word. They might need dignity and respect, recognizing that they're a child of God. When we go out in love, by definition, we have to drop the self. Because we're focused on the other person. We die to ourselves so that we might serve others. This in itself is so different than how most of the world shows up with their agendas, with their transactions, with their expectations, with their arrogance, that if we do this, automatically we're showing up differently. We stand out and we open up the possibility that somebody might want to explore Jesus and become one of his disciples. Okay, as I was preparing this message for all of you, I had written down everything that I've given you so far, but I felt like something was missing. It's true, it's directionally accurate. We want to go to the least among us. We want to go now. We want to go in love. But I thought there's something missing about it. So I thought about it and I prayed about it because it felt incomplete. Last night I came across a quote from a Catholic priest. His name's Brennan Manning. He wrote a book called The Ragamuffin Gospels. And he wrote this: Christianity is not a story of the well-fed helping the starving. It's one beggar telling another beggar where to find bread. Here's the part that's missing. We're the least. We're all the least in the sight of God. We've all fallen short of his glory. So when we go out to make disciples of all the nations, we're the ones who are fed. When we go out to love and to serve other people, we're the ones who are filled up. We are the ones who are clothed in righteousness. We're the ones who get sheltered and cared for. You do you see, as we go out to make disciples for all the nations, we are doing the work of disciples. We are stepping into the role of disciples, and we get blessed. When we acknowledge that it is not us, the high and mighty, that are going out amongst the least. It's not us that have our act together, that we're going out to the broken and downtrodden, right? When we have humility and we drop ourselves and we have balance here, when we go out to serve another human being, we get to step into kingdom life. We get to step into the joy, abundant joy that Jesus wants for us. We get to experience the blessings in the brokenness. We get to experience all of the beauty in the sadness and sorrow, and we get to live different lives. Amen?